Okay, folks, happy Friday, TGIF. Now it's TGIF. Before today was just, right now was just a pain in the ass. Okay, we're going to pick up where we left off, painting this Seljuk Turk horseman. The second of 4 figures of these. And I said yesterday I was going to switch this paper out, and I will when I'm done with these. When I'm done with this figure, that's what I'll do. I'm not going to switch out right now. I will do it when I'm done with this figure. So, Nathan, welcome back. We're just gonna chit chat about who knows what and where we left off here. I'm gonna go ahead and start working on his face. And since I decided to pick up the brush that I've been using for faces, for now until it misbehaves, and then we end up using it for things that aren't so detailed. So much detail isn't required, and the stuff's over here. Hopefully his stuff's alive. Well, that one is. Nope. We're gonna need new. Oh well. Sometimes it stays overnight. Sometimes it doesn't. I just started working on these Turks, and I'm already tired of them. I want to paint something a little bit more interesting, but that's the worst thing I can do is hop around. That's how you get nothing done. That system doesn't really work for me. Painting a bunch of figures at one time also doesn't work for me. Face. All right. I'm going to try and carry away from here, so. I think I'm going to wait until I have this figure done to replace it. I may end up changing my mind. This will be the 8th and 9th stand in the Army. We got a bunch of cavalry to do. A bunch of cavalry. At least 4 stands of them, plus a general. That's minimum. Okay, a little bit more of this before we add the sunny skin tone. We're not going to bring it all the way up to that color. Makes them just look a little bit more, just a tiny little bit muted. Now we'll add sunny skin tone. I think I just cured myself of calling it scunny skin tone, and then I almost said it again. Sunny skin tone. And as mentioned, we should have lots of painting this weekend. We'll see if I go hoarse by the end of the weekend. See how this compares to this one. Yeah. It's all right. Now, we said we were going to use like a pinkish hue on this guy. We're going to use this rose colored, brown rose. That's what we're going to use for his clothing. So let's go ahead and do that. It's a pretty big portion of the figure, so anything that's a big portion of the figure, I like to get up, just start working on it early, because that definitely is going to help you decide what other colors to do of the packs and straps and stuff on there. All right. It's pink, but not. All right, we don't need to use the face one for that. And I don't know how long I'm going to be on here tonight, because to be honest with you, I had coffee last night and I painted late, and I was up past midnight just trying to fall asleep. So we'll see how that goes. I may not be worth a shit after 9 p.m. So, or maybe even earlier than that. So it just depends. I'll still be on in the morning. So, can't make any promises. We'll just see how this goes. Alright, we're going to paint everything on him in this color right here. Which honestly looks like Mountbatten pink. If you don't know what Mountbatten pink, it's a Commonwealth color of, I think they were just used on destroyers. They might have been a, you know what, the cruiser Edinburgh was in Mountbatten pink, I want to say. Maybe not. There's at least one cruiser in it, but it's mostly for destroyers. And it's not very, you know, it's basically a gray with some pink undertones to it. We might end up having to go with a new piece of this new paper sooner rather than later, because I'm running out of real estate. I tend to not like to use the center of it that much, because I may end up getting paint on myself on my way back, and then I transfer it onto the figure, and then I got a mess to clean up. I already take a long time painting these things. I don't need to create more work for myself. I look forward to the next 2 mornings waking up at 5 a.m. like I normally do. think I've had enough of this bastard. And this is dry too, so I'm going to cover this up. Take my priceless artwork, throw it in the garbage can. And let me go rinse this and I'll be right back. All right, here we are again with a very wet sponge on the wet palette. I think the last sheet I did was the first one of the second pack I ever got. This was the second. I was just using the one that originally came with it, but I had to reorder a replacement. I only have 48 of them left now. Should be good for a couple of years. I think that's what that first one was. I got it for 2 years or something like that, so. All right, let's get our usual suspects out here. That's Mr. Black and Mrs. White. I don't care what you use, wet palette, not a wet palette. You always waste more than you ever use. It's just one of those things. I need to make myself a little shopping list while I'm thinking about it. I need to get brown violet. I think they have brown violet at the store, and a white. Any other colors I can think of right now? I'll try looking for them. The Hobby Lobby has a few selection. That's basically the only place in town that would carry them. If I find myself going somewhere, I'll swing by there and see if they have those. I'm pretty sure they've got brown violet. It's just kind of like a World War II camouflage color. It's like a World War II. It's like the color that like a B-17 would have been painted. Just a really ugly brown with a little bit of green in it. It's mostly brown though. Just an ugly, 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 ugly color. All right, and then we need some of that brown rose. Might need a little bit more than that. There's no telling how long I've had this color, and I've used it maybe once before. All right, let's get this with the black. More black. And the straps on the back of this guy literally are a mess. They're a tangled web of who knows which strap belongs to what. They are very discombobulated. I had to figure out what was what on the last figure, so kind of have a clue of what it is. But sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you got to start painting a figure to realize, where the shirt starts and ends, and sometimes it's not so clear until you get in there and mix it up with them. All right, let's lighten this up a little bit. It got too watery is what happened. There you go. And his clothing isn't going to be super bright on him. We don't want it to be super bright. Even if it was bright at one point, couple good fade like days in the sun, and stuff's going to lose its luster. There you are. Looks like an early start. Yeah, it's probably going to be an early end, too. I was up way too late last night. And then I couldn't go to sleep. So we'll see how far we can get. We're still going to be on tomorrow morning and the following morning. I'm afraid I'm going to have to get some coffee. Unless I plan on quitting sometime like soon. It's always one thing. I'm always so oral. One thing or the other. Be right back. Let's see if we can wake the hell up. Let's see if we can wake the hell up. I don't feel like painting these Turks, but I have to. They got too many things on them. The light horse, for God's sakes. Why do they have so many details? They're only a +2. Units that are a +2 should be like damn near naked. All right. I think we were about right here. Old Rose is the name of this color, right? Old? Brown Rose. I think there's an Old Rose too that I have. Might be this crusty ass color right here. Another color that doesn't get used much. I forget where I was reading that. No, this is Salmon Rose. What about this one? Beige Red. They look real similar on the video. They're actually a little bit more. Is it this crusty one? Here it is. Old Rose. Well, the Old Rose looks more rose than any of them. All right, well, now we got all this stuff out here. So, Brown Rose. And it's just a starting point. I'm going to mix and blend, and I call it blending, but it's really, layering. I am blending. I'm just not blending on the figure. That's a good way to take even longer. I feel like I already take plenty of time painting these figures. I don't need to find up other techniques that are going to make me take even longer, which will result in getting less stuff painted. Not a fan of that. That's as pink as we're going to go. So, Joe, did you come over on Monday? Did you give the Siamese their trial run? And how did they do? How did your Siamese do? And are you coming on Monday? It was a fluke I wasn't able to show up. So, we just had something that came up that has never come up before. So was one of those things. I haven't seen Randy on here in a while. He give up painting. He's working on a honey-do list. There we go. Every layer you put on these guys just brings them to life just that little bit more. That was me at lunchtime. I almost fell asleep. Or maybe I did for a little bit of time. All right. Dees. Does pain that way not hurt your neck? No. What hurts more than anything else is my ass. And just from not moving. What I did is when I got the painting table, I got one as high and jacked it up as high as it'll go, and the chair as low as it'll go. So I think I measured it one time. From the seat to the floor is about 18 inches. From the level of this table to the seat is 18 inches. So it's almost perfect. I think if it was up like another 2 inches, it probably would be. Yeah, it's just a matter of, do you hurt your neck or do you hurt your back? And I don't want to be hunched over with a whole back. So it's actually pretty comfortable. Assuming I'm not fighting falling asleep like I kind of am right now. It's pretty comfortable. But a lot of thought went into it. Because the last painting table that I had, this is about as low to the ground as you can get, unless you buy something really specialized. You're not going to find many things that are less than 18 inches off the ground. And the table I had before was like a little computer desk, and it was really low. It was like maybe another almost a foot or 10 inches lower. And yeah, I was hurting my back a lot on that. So that was not pleasant. And over the weekend, I ended up having a neck hurt, but it wasn't from here. I was out of town. I think the bed in the hotel was too soft. So we're going to, I think we use black. I'm not opposed to using black to darken yellowish type colors. You just have to be conscious that, it's going to do weird things. It's going to turn green sometimes. Just going to paint this bow here. People that aren't painters will watch me do this and they go, "Man, don't you hurt your eyes?" And I'm like, it's the easiest on the eyes than anything else because you're not changing your focal distance. So, go to a place like, say, Walmart or something like that, even though I haven't been in, 4 years or something like that, but that's what'll get you tired. Zooming in and out of things at various distances and Man, we better wake up or I'm going to have to leave it for tomorrow morning. I stayed up too late. I had coffee last night in my painting session last night. And I cut off probably a little before 11 o'clock. And I spent the next almost 2 hours trying to fall asleep. So, no big deal. Sitting in the sidelines today. Yeah, I'm tired from the whole week. Friday nights are definitely not the night I want to go and do something adventurous. I'm worn out. You've fallen asleep painting figures before. So have I. Walking up to a big streak of white across your model is depressing. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, it's better than being stressed out by painting. I say all the time that this is therapy. So painting therapy. So yeah, I fall asleep at lunch frequently in the car. I take lunch in the car. I think I fell asleep today. I've fallen asleep playing video games. I'm going to keep some of this on hand. In case. What time is it? Oh, Jesus, it's not even 7. I may need to go get some extra strength coffee. Yeah, so I got about maybe 4 hours of sleep last night, and so this guy needs a cloth that he's sitting on. I'm thinking blue, but I'm gonna do a color that it's not gonna be bright blue. As a matter of fact, shit, am I gonna make it? Starting to look doubtful. Let me look down here. There's a color down here called, I think, shadow gray. It's got a blue hue to it. Well, here's one unopened. Let's not use that one. Let's use the one that's already opened. Looking to see if it's in the wrong place. Here it is, hiding on top of something else. So I have a handful of old school Citadel paints. I've got 2 of that shadow gray. I got this bubonic brown, which I don't think it's any good. I just haven't thrown it away. Elf gray, fiery orange, nauseating blue, dark angels green. I have 2 nauseating blues. Well, that's stupid. And that's not a very useful color. I think I may have inherited that one from somebody else. This is like Ultramarines blue. Oh, it is exactly what it's called. Ultramarines blue. It's only 2. There's only 2 Games Workshop things I've ever painted. One of them is this guy right here. This is an old Citadel wolf that I probably painted, I don't know, 1987, 88, something like that. I don't know why I have it, I just do. And the other one is I had a squad of Imperial Guard that I picked up at a store in the 80s. Pretty sure it was in the 80s, not the 90s. Barely in the 80s. And painted them up and never played the game. I've never played a Games Workshop anything. So This is the color that we're going to use. It's kind of like a gray, but it's got a little bit of a blue hue to it. I'm purposely not trying to make these guys look super bright. They are running around in a steppe desert somewhere with undesirable terrain with a lot of sun. This stuff's going to fade like crazy immediately. Friday night is definitely the night I don't want to do anything. So I'm spent from the week. So there's a good chance I may actually go to sleep at an extremely early time and wake up earlier than normal tomorrow to make up for it. We'll see. I'm usually up every morning at 5. We may have to get up earlier. But it's taking a whole lot of effort to keep me awake right now. John Peter, painting in my basement. What's a basement? What is a basement? I've never lived in a house with a basement, ever. No, this is my room here. The painting room. Where all the magic happens. But like I said, I don't know how long I'm going to be on here because I'm falling asleep. I really am. And it's not even 7 p.m. And I'm out of coffee. It's just a cool place, stuff to store big as a house. I've never lived in a house with a basement. I've never lived in a house that did not have a monolithic slab for a floor. And what that means is there's no airspace underneath your floor. So when you're walking across your floor, you don't hear boom, 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 because there's nothing to boom, boom against. You know, your whole house is sitting on a slab. That's how they roll here in Florida. Now, there's older houses here that do have subflooring and stuff like that, but Florida's pretty much a place where you can't have a basement because of you're gonna have problems. Nobody in Florida has a basement, so. I've fallen asleep while painting for sure. With a paintbrush in my hand. Mm. 45 minutes. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much done for the night. I'm worn out. I think last night did a number on me. So we'll start back up tomorrow morning and hopefully be in a more ready shape than we are today. Because it's like taking everything in me to stay awake. But anyways, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you